Hello everybody, lovely to have you with me. Thank you for joining me. It's Carol here at Oak House Journals, and you'll know that I'm going to do a Margarete Miller assignment today. I'm going to do assignment number 36, and this is part of Margarete Miller's collage challenge for this year, or that she's hosting this year. So I've got my prompt pieces in front of me here, and the first prompt is a button. So I've got a couple of paper buttons, there we go, that I've cut out this morning. And I've also got a couple of these. Now these are doorbell buttons. You'd press obviously the little button in the middle and it rings your doorbell. So I fussy cut those out. Not sure if I'd use them, but I just wanted something that was slightly outside of the box than using a normal clothing button. The second prompt, anything postal related. So I've got this little pretty faux postcard. As you can see, it's got no stamp. And what I was thinking was to make use maybe of these as a stamp. Not sure if I'm going to do this or not yet, but that's kind of what I was thinking, so that I could make use of them, something like that, for my stamp. So that's a possibility. So I've got my faux postcard. As you can see, it's just on some scrap paper. I've also got this telegram and envelope that I bought ages ago. I thought that I would use this. Well, not actually this one, because I don't want to use the original. What I've done is I've gone away and I printed it on some paper, as you can see. For something or anything postal related, I've got both those items, and I am going to use both of these. The third prompt, something that lays eggs. I've got this little vellum piece here, and the something that lays eggs obviously is my butterfly, because they usually lay between 200 to 500 eggs, which vary in shape or size depending on what species they are. And most of those eggs apparently hatch within 4 or 5 days, but sometimes it takes up to 3 weeks, again depending on the species. And then after that, the eggs hatch and they go into little caterpillars or grubs, and that is the larvae stage. So I've got butterfly because they lay eggs. Something that turns or spins. Well, I've got this. This is a decorative back piece, and if I flip it over, it's just a piece that I've printed onto cardstock. And I've got a tiny little cog, because cogs and gears spin. And I've also got a brad off to one side here, which I'm going to put into the center of that so that the whole thing will spin. And the next prompt is a photograph. Well, I've got this one. Now, this isn't an original photograph, but it is an image that I have obviously printed onto photograph paper at some stage, and it was just in amongst my stash, and as you can see, I've chopped off the top at some point. So I thought I would make use of this, and the reason I've gone for this is because of the pink flower there. This is on a pink background, as you can see, or if I put it on there, you can see it's a pink background. And I've also got pink roses on here, which kind of blends in with that. I'm not sure if that's a peony or a rose there. So I've got my sort of 3 shades of pink going on. So I'm going to be using that photograph. And the bonus, floral pattern paper. Now, it doesn't say repeat pattern, so I haven't gone for a piece of paper that's floral all over. I've gone for this piece of paper, which has got a floral element on it, albeit not a repeat one, but as I say, it doesn't say that, so I'm hoping that this is going to hit that prompt. So those are my prompt pieces, and today I've lifted out a couple of little washi stickers here, and I'm going to be using these on my piece as well today. So as always, let's get started. That's up ahead, and I'm going straight in with my telegram. And as you can see, it's wider than my working area, so I do need to trim it down a little bit. Sorry, we've got gardeners next door, so they're currently trimming hedges. I have been waiting all morning for them to finish doing what they're doing, but they seem to be having a mammoth session outside, so sorry about that everybody, nothing I can do about it. Now, I was thinking that I would have this postcard going right to the edge there. I might actually be able to pull it over there like that and just make use of this line down here, in which case this is going to be staggered. This page has got a torn edge down that right hand side, so I'm just going to trim that away. maybe pop that in something like that, and then have this underneath here. I'm wondering about taking that over to the left hand side, so I'm going to take it over and see what it looks like and drop this down quite a bit, because it's got a lovely little pink decorative area there which would be nice to have. And if I take that over to the left hand side like that, drop this one down again, and obviously I've got a bigger gap at the top of this telegram to that top line than I have down here, so I need to adjust that in a moment or two. I'm going to bring in my photograph, and it'd be nice to have it partially framed by that. I'm going to trim it round so that I take away this white border on the other three sides. I'm going to move this up. There's a line down the side here, and I'm trying to line my photo up with that. And just to get some of the lovely little handwriting showing, but without covering up too much of this, which isn't easy, so I've dropped it down to the fourth line, and I am going to take it over to this side some more. I am going to take away that W up there because that's annoying me, so I will trim this back bit in due course, but I'm just getting a feel at the moment for how I like things. I like that that is showing there. I'm getting that rose there, and I've got staggering going on down here, which is fine. It leaves me with all this white space here, which is the remnant of this floral paper, and too much here, so it does need to come over to this side some more. Now I'm liking how that's looking. I have got this dilemma here, but let me bring in my butterfly. There's too much pink going on here that clashes, so I'm wondering about using it up here so that I get this checked mark on here. I certainly would trim off some more off the bottom there, so I'm going to do that. And I'm actually going to take a little bit off all the way round. I can't take off too much off this right hand side or off the bottom because of that check mark there. I'm going to have it on top of my photograph. So with this piece, where that stamp should be, I could make use of the little tiny leaves underneath the rosebud and put this in so that it looks like it's supposed to be there, and then have that in the centre and put my brad through it, and that would spin. Now these, ideally I should have something down here to pick up that, but I'm tempted to make use of that check mark. I'm not sure if that's going to be right or not, so I could have something like that. Still have the issue with down here, but I can maybe make use of these. They look a little bit lost against that white background, I'm thinking. So I'm not going to use those. I could have one down there, and then I've got my three areas of gold. Or I could take these and just have them down the side there. I think that would work better because they're diagonal, so they would balance out. I've got pink, pink and pink. There is a hint of pink up there, but not much, and it's close enough to that. I've got that circular check mark there, which picks up that circle and these circles. Not quite a rule of 3, I've got a rule of 4 going on there, but not too bad. And there is a partial check mark here, which I could almost stamp over the top of to get that as a complete check mark, and bring in these so that I can get some detail in here, because it definitely needs it. I do have white up here, which is not ideal. It's very white. It's going from the telegram onto my background, which is white. So I could put a piece of background paper in there. So I will sort this out first and then think about what to do there. So I'm just looking at these little pieces here and wondering what would go. That one upside down to complete that stem would give me a break on that edge, but I'm looking at the pink next door to it and I'm liking that better. Brings the colour down, so yeah, that's the one I'm going to use. I could possibly bring this one in as well. This one here, I could maybe even, let me tuck this in, and maybe even bring this one in the background. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do there to break up that top piece. And then I'm looking at this piece of writing here, could maybe bring that in lower down and create some interest. I could also use the writing on here and bring it half on, half off. That might work. And even use this piece, this little green one down there, to continue my vegetation off. And that would actually use up all of that area. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. This is a little bit of a dilemma up here because I haven't got much room to cut across the top there. I could take away that altogether and just have that, but bizarrely I actually like having the word telegram up there. So this is the arrangement I'm going to go with, everybody. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set that brad and this so that I have a spinner. And because the centre of my cog is bigger than my brad, I need to put my brad in place first and then glue that on the top. And for that I'm going to bring in some glossy accents. Just going to put a little on here. There we go. Now a little bit of art glitter glue on the back here. I need to get some glue on these pieces, and I'm just going to anchor that one down with my finger like that, take that one away and just pop some glue behind here. Kind of one there, half on, half off that corner, and another one just slightly higher up. I'm going to rub away my pencil marks on here before I go any further. As I say, I might go in with a background in a moment or two, but I think I might actually just leave it. And I wanted to make use of these. Now I just realised that these are not washi stickers, they are actual stickers, so I'm going to need to trim this a lot closer. So I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to trim that one and one or two others on here, and I'll be back when that's done. So I've cut out a few of these tiny little bits here. Bit of a pain, but I managed to do it. And now all I'm going to do is peel off the backing and put them in place as I originally had them. So the first one I'm going to have down here like that. And this little one I'm just going to have tucked there. This little one down here, and I'm going to have it half on and half off, but I'm not going to press it all the way down at the moment because this, as you can see, isn't glued down. I thought that I would have this on here, again, half on, half off. I've also got this little one as well, and I thought I would have this one just down the side here. What is bothering me is this top piece, and I'm not quite sure what to do with that. I have been playing with this little piece and wondering where this could go, whether I could have it up there like that, but it still leaves a blank area there, and similarly it doesn't work on this side anywhere, just looks standalone. So I did wonder about having it tucked in down here at the bottom to pick up the same sort of colour tones down there, and maybe just work it slightly under a little gap that I've got going on at that, under that photograph there. And I think that will work, and actually I can use it to break up that edge a little bit on here. I may be moving it along something like that. That wasn't quite where I wanted it to go, but unfortunately it's stuck down, and once it hit the photo paper it did not want to move. As much as I like this, I think that it's too much. So I'm just going to put that along the top. I'm going to take away that telegraph piece at the back. So let me just snip that away. It seemed like a good idea at the time to have that in place, but I don't actually think it was. Now I'm wishing that that wasn't as prominent, because I do have this gap down here. This is glued down, so it might be difficult to alter, but actually I think that might look better if that wasn't there. So I'm going to take that away. Very sharp edge there, which isn't ideal at all. I've cut out one of those little paint samples, and I think I'm just going to pop it down here in that corner, in the hope that it kind of brings the eye down a little bit and you don't notice that so much. And as you saw down here, I made a right mess with that piece of greenery. So I've taken another piece which had this yellow flower on the top, and it was the same colour hue on the leaves as this, and I'm going to pop that down in there like that and hopefully mask that so that it looks a bit better. And now I'm just going to glue this onto my background. Let me go through the prompts quickly with you. A button, well, I went with a couple of buttons and they're down here. Anything postal related, well, I have got my telegram piece in the background here, but I chopped the main top portion off. So really anything related, anything postal related has to be my little faux postcard there. Something that lays eggs, well, that's my butterfly here. Something that turns or spins, well, actually it's my little cog in there, but I have this piece round the back here. Now this actually doesn't turn or spin on my piece. Maybe that's what Margarete wanted us to do, but I'm working on the premise that a cog will spin when it's in its appropriate environment, so I'm going to rely on that. A photo, well, I've got this lovely image here of this lady holding either a rose or a peony. And finally, floral pattern paper. Well, I've got this lovely little piece in the background there. And I made ample use of lots of stickers on today's piece to try and soften the edges and corners that I backed myself into a corner with. So I've got some text down here, which I've taken off the edge of this piece here. And then I've got these little flowers up here to soften that edge there. I've got a piece here to soften again this corner down here. I've got these leaves to try and soften this bottom edge of the picture and tie it in with the floral pattern going on at the bottom. And then, as I say, I've got that writing there, and I put another little piece of the same writing to try and balance it a little bit. So there we go, everybody. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and as always, thank you for popping by. I always enjoy your company, and bless you for doing that. So take care, have a great week, and as always, I'll leave some close-up photos at the end. So until next week, take care. Bye-bye now.